Jim Cornette talked about Theo Von exposing Colin Thompson, and he talked about Brendan Schaub staying with PodcastOne and taking their deal. By the way, that stock is down even more. But so I'm going to play this and give you my thoughts on it. Let me just tell you, Jim Cornette describes Brendan Schaub perfectly in this. So let's go ahead and check it out.
Amount of money, so it'll be very interesting. Very interesting.
I wonder if his will be good right away or if he has to wait for 2 years like he was wanting us to wait.
Well, I think we'll find that out. I think we're going to find out a lot of things in very short order. We're going to find out what happens when Colin Thompson gets his ass kicked in arbitration. We're going to find out what happens when Colin Thompson gets sued from a variety of people. We're going to find out what happens when Colin Thompson has to deal with the reality that PodcastOne's going to eventually cut ties.
It's not a reality, it's an eventuality.
It's that he's gotten too toxic because we're all speaking out. They thought we were all going to shut up. Again, to refresh everyone from the email chain, you can go back. There's a playlist now for it on YouTube. We were told that our money was gone, that Colin's going to go bankrupt and we'll get nothing, or we have to sign a new deal with PodcastOne for worse terms that could be changed by them, apparently, based on the wording of the email, but terms that weren't good for us. We would get a third of the money that they claim they owe us. They also owe us accounting. And they've sent us various sets of numbers at different times. So they claim they owe us the amount that they would give us a third of in cash, a third of over 2 years in an unknown source, not defined, and a third in pre-IPO stock in PodcastOne. We rejected all of this. We said, just give us our money. And the strong arm tactics began. There were two different sets of them. It was talk to PodcastOne. Colin kept doing it every email. I rejected that we were going to do this. Every email, talk to them. Rob Ellen tries to go behind my back, gets in touch with Jim. Same thing.
You don't want to talk to me.
Talk to my team. Every email, talk to my gut tells me you should talk to my team.
Well, he ought to be eating some of those fucking athletic greens he used to sell us the spots for because his gut's wrong.
And then the intimidation was, we expect you to keep confidentiality for the contract that we don't have with you. We think you should know you'll be in line for $10 to $20 million in damages from a variety of parties if you do anything to mess up this deal.
Don't say anything out in public.
Yeah.
That's what we were told, so
I would strongly advise you not to say anything. My other favorite thing still is Rob Ellen from PodcastOne, or Live One. The SEC doesn't take too kindly to these kind of threats. My threat was to call the SEC.
No, that's like Saturday night's all right for fighting, except when you do and then you get fired.
Saturday night's all right for firing.
The SEC doesn't take kindly to threats of people calling them. That's why we tweeted them.
That's why our lawyer called them.
and just real briefly, refresh me. I'm trying to think of the dozens and dozens and many, many shows that have taken this deal publicly that have gone over to these, whatever the company these people are trying to put together, instead of just going off the grid completely or speaking out. We know Sarah Silverman hadn't had a new podcast in a couple months, poor thing. And I guess Penn Jillette has been run over to Patreon. Theo Von said something. Jason Ellis said something. We've said a number of things. And we've heard of that one podcast, that one show that did migrate over because they were owed well over $1 million and figured they could get something so they could pay their staff.
Or buy a truck or something.
Or buy a truck or whatever. Nobody's knocking this door down is what I'm saying. They got nothing. They're getting nothing. Cast Media was a joke run by a crook. Was I plain enough on that? I goddamn double dog dare you. Sue me just to give me something to fucking talk about, motherfucker. You fucking crooks. You pieces of shit. You sleep in the street. You drink Thunderbird. and smell like elderberries.
You've taken it.
Damn, yeah. So, first and foremost, I like how he's like, what's that one show that actually did sign with PodcastOne and went over so he could pay his staff and buy a truck? Bappa planning on doing another truck walk, it looks like. But yeah, so that was them talking about the whole situation about Theo Von coming out and exposing him, like Jason Ellis told us about a little under a week before Theo did it. Jason Ellis told us. But dummy Brendan Schaub took the deal. So he got paid $500,000. Well, a third of what he was owed. So maybe less, maybe more. At least that's what they were told, and that's what Theo was told, and that's what Jason Ellis was told. So seems reasonable that Schaub was told the same thing. Schaub took the deal, got that instant money right away, bought a new truck. Yes, Brendan Schaub did buy a new truck recently, and got stock. And here's the thing that they did 2 videos on this, and it went very long. So I'll just tell you what they said. It turns out, by the way, that stock deal, you can't sell that off right away. Part of that deal was, we'll give you $500,000 and the rest in stock for the IPO, but you can't sell the stock for 2 years. That's also part of the deal. So even if Schaub wanted to sell off the stock right now, he can't. He has to wait another 2 years. It was 6 months to 2 years. They said they were told 2 years. You know, they told Schaub 2 years. But 6 months or 2 years from now, he has to hold on to that stock, part of that deal, that stock that absolutely tanked when it opened, and it's tanking today, by the way, even more. And Brendan just got ripped off. And Brendan kept his mouth shut. Remember, we only found out about this from Mark Harley because Mark told us that Brendan was complaining about being ripped off for $1.4 million. Brendan never went publicly because obviously Cast Media and Colin Thompson and Rob Allen's threats of, if you talk about what we offered you publicly, we could sue you for $10 to $20 million. And you know, Brendan Schaub, I guess, believed him and kept his mouth shut, whereas most other people didn't and came forward, like Jim Cornette and Jason and Theo Von. So, but hell, you got a new truck out of it. Truck walk. Isn't Annie Lederman getting married now? I wonder if you'll ask her to do another truck walk. I don't know, but it seems that Schaub is the only one who signed that deal. He got Sutton a third of what he was owed and the rest in stock that he can't sell for 6 months or up to 2 years of a company that's tanking. And, well, we'll see how this goes forward because I agree with Cornette, that PodcastOne thing. Even in that initial interview that Rob Allen guy gave, he even kind of admitted that people were owed money. I don't see how they can hold on to that Colin Thompson dude. But this was a failed business model anyway. I mean, the spearhead of your network, of your thing, is going to be Brendan Schaub. His career is over. He doesn't get any numbers or anything. So it was a failed proposition from the start. They're going for a business model, though. It's fake it till you make it business model. Basically, what PodcastOne wants to do is what SiriusXM does. Meaning they, I think, got a deal with Tesla, right? So the way SiriusXM lies about their numbers, and always have lied about their numbers, is when you buy a car, you get SiriusXM in it. And then you get it for free for 3 months. And then it expires. But you still get Hits 1, Channel 1 on it. you are still technically counted as a subscriber of SiriusXM, according to SiriusXM. And they put that in their numbers to their shareholders, saying we have 10 million people who are subscribed to SiriusXM, when really only like 2 million people are subscribed and pay money. This is their model that they want to do with Tesla going forward. So every time someone buys a Tesla and it comes with PodcastOne, I guess, subscription, and then of course no one's going to pay for that, and they'll let it lapse, but they'll still just be counted as a subscriber so they can show this to shareholders and stuff. So I think that's their plan going forward. Will that work? Probably not, but who knows? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.